having a great summer and enjoying yourself a little bit in between working on your eBay and life. This is my June 2025 sales update video. In this video, I will show you my numbers that I track and where to find them on your eBay account. I will show you some things that sold with some teachable moments. Not all my sales are super high dollar. I'm an average person like most of you out there, and I do this part-time. And the third part of the video shows items I found and have listed, also along with some teachable moments. Maybe some of these will help you improve your eBay business or put some ideas in your head about what to look for, what sells. I learn new stuff every single day, and I use social media as a vehicle to help other people learn as well. So we're going to jump right in with the boring stuff first, the numbers, followed by some items I sold.
Okay, here are my numbers and where you can find yours. Go to your Seller Hub and click on Performance. Under that tab, you will find Sales. Click on that, and you'll get to the screen where you can input the date range you want to look at. So I'm looking at June 1st through the 30th, 2025. And it automatically compares it to the previous time frame before. So I'm not so interested in month over month improvement. It's consistency over the entire year. So my total sales were $2,891.08, which is by no stretch of the imagination impressive. But again, this sales update video is about what one person can do with consistency over time. So my sales were up 11.3% over the prior time period, and I sold 62 items, which was down 4.6% from the prior time period. So here are the numbers that I track. Number of items sold, 62. I currently have 428 items in my store that are listed and active. That adds up to $15,500 in listed items. My inventory cost was $696. That is the inventory cost for the items that sold, and that is a little high because I have been experimenting with different products, knowing that I'm not going to make a huge profit, but learning about them so I will be a smarter picker as time goes by. So I would like to get that inventory cost down because that will make profit go up. Profit per item was $17.62, and I listed 198 items. 135 of those were ended and restarted, and brand new items, meaning they've never been there before. They're used items, but they've never been in my store before, so 63 of those. So now let's take a look at some items I sold with some Suzanne commentary. So maybe you can learn something new. Okay, we're going to start with this batch of handwritten letters, and I'm really getting into this. So this was my third or fourth batch I'd sold. And yes, I'm reading all of these because I think it's fascinating. But what I have learned is that a lot of people selling this kind of stuff do not read the letters. I've been looking for others that sell these and who's successful and what they're doing and how they create their listing and what they put in their title so that I can be successful too. And what I've learned is the titles I'm seeing will say something like 40 letters from the 1940s, and that's it. They don't talk about what's in there. what the content is. And I think that's important for collectors to know what they're buying, because maybe they want love letters, maybe they want correspondence from soldiers overseas, maybe they want information about what's going on in popular culture or whatever it is. So I feel like you need to have that information to put in the title so buyers will know what they're buying. So here are the photos that I included. There were a couple of telegrams in there, some phone receipts from a phone bill, and then the dates on the envelopes, and then a few photos of the actual letters so you can see that beautiful penmanship. Even though they're written in pencil, doesn't matter. That's what people did back in the day. So a lot of these are from the same person, Uncle Frank, and he's talking about his struggles in the Midwest and how much he makes at his job and how much things cost and the weather. And he's in a rural area, so farming, and how much eggs cost and how much they get for a cow when they sell it and things like that. So I personally think it's just really interesting reading these, but a couple things about why other sellers may not. First of all, some of these batches are huge. There might be 100 letters, so yeah, that's time consuming to go through that and read everything. But another issue, I think it might be younger people who can't read cursive. That happens all the time. So I did reach out to one other seller and I asked, what's the content of these letters? And they replied with, oh, I don't know. I didn't read them. And so I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for that information. And then they replied back a couple days later with photos of the letters. They never said, oh, they're about this and that and the other. They just sent photos of the letters. So that kind of led me to believe that maybe they couldn't read cursive. I don't know. I'm just assuming. But these are selling very quickly as soon as I get them listed, and I'm putting in my title some of the highlights of the letters. Like this is wages are 80 cents an hour. Um, Another batch I sold, they talked about how eggs were 11 cents a dozen and they were just horrified that they were up so high, which is kind of funny in today's world of expensive eggs, which the prices are going back down. But anyway, that's what historians are looking for, I believe, is the exact information. I hope teachers are buying these so they can share this in history class, even though the kids probably aren't going to be able to read cursive, and maybe the teacher can't either if they're younger, because they're just not teaching that anymore. So, all that to say, I paid $3.68 for this lot of 60 wartime 1940s letters. I accepted an offer of $50 after about a few days, and my profit was $41.23. And this is my new thing I love doing, and I love looking for these at estate sales. Here's another lot of letters. There were 27 in this lot, and these were from the 1930s. The topics in the letters included how much money this guy made per hour, the prices of things like eggs. If we go look at the pictures here, you can see I showed the postmarks, and these were kind of hard to read. I had to have really good light because they were written in pencil, and they were just, it was just very light. So, anyway, I showed a few of the letters here, and so the guy writing this was pretty miserable. Unfortunately, it was just the time, and he even wrote part of his letter um, on this. It looks like a grocery bag because he ran out of paper. So that is what was going on in the world back then. Just you just used what you could use and do what you could do, and they always close their letters with write back soon, because that's all they had was correspondence through the mail. Probably did have long distance phone calls, but I'm guessing they were either very expensive or only in certain areas, that type of thing. So it was fascinating to read these and get a slice of life during that time frame. So that's how I'm marketing these letters, is by reading them and putting some keywords in the title to attract attention and get people to look at the listing and see what's in there. And this was only my second lot, so I still wasn't sure on the pricing. I accepted an offer of $30 for these, and thanks again to Eileen Cole, who said, ballpark, if you can get $1 per letter, you're doing well. So that's kind of what I'm going by right now. I haven't found any of the really valuable kind, like love letters or letters from soldiers overseas. Those seem to sell for a lot more, so I will be on the lookout for those. Okay, this was a fun one. This is a Sagittarius zodiac sign finished wool needlepoint. It could be a pillow cover or wall art or a seat cushion cover, whatever you want to do with it. I find that Zodiac stuff does really well, especially handmade. So you can see here how perfect the needlework is. And this was not what they call blocked or stretched. Thank you to the listeners out there who informed me of that. I've been posting some of these finished needlework pieces, and they're kind of slanted because they haven't been stretched or blocked for their final use. So I do put that in the description that needs to be done, but people don't seem to care. They want it for the needlework that's already done. So showing the measurements here, pretty big size. So I got this at an estate sale for just under $7, and I took an offer of $45, and my profit was $32.39. And I have another one of these listed. It's Aries, and it's just as beautiful as this. So moral of the story is vintage, handmade Zodiac stuff is a good seller for me. And on the topic of needlework, I also sold this set of chair cushion pillows, and one of them was not even finished. So let me show you the photos here. Again, these are not stretched or blocked, they're kind of slanted, but really nice work there. And this one is the one that's not quite finished. It's got that bottom corner that is not finished, but easy enough to match that color and just finish that up. So showing the measurements here of both the design and the entire piece. I try to avoid any questions by giving all that information up front. Even though sometimes people don't read it and they ask anyway, that's fine, but I try to be proactive and include those measurements. So if they're going to do something with this piece, they want to see if it fits the chair they have, or they're going to use it as a pillow cover or whatever. They will know what the measurements are. And I paid $18 for these two at an estate sale. I took an offer of $40, so my profit was $19.96. And this type of thing is very easy to ship. Some people say don't fold it up, roll it up. You can roll it around a pool noodle and send it that way. But it's easy enough just to press it with a steam iron and make it flat and get any fold marks out of it. So trust me, that's what I did here. When I purchased it, it did not look this good. So I did a little work on it. But that was a good flip. And another thing you might not know about is unfinished needlework pieces. They do sell. People like to buy them and finish them up. And here is what's on the cover slide. Lot of 23 vintage brass cabinet drawer pulls or knobs. Now, there was a discussion about this. I asked my group, should I polish these or leave them as is? I'm just very OCD about making things look as good as possible, but it was kind of 50-50 on whether I should polish them or not. And you can see there's 23 of them, so that would have been a project to sit down and polish these, and that would have taken some elbow grease. But I went with leave them as is. So the do not polish people won this one. Yay! But you can see these are quite beautiful with intricate scroll swirl design on them. So I just showed all sides of them and left them as is, and lo and behold, they sold for full asking price. These were actually free to me, so no investment there, and I priced them at $69.97. They sold for that amount. My profit was $63.99. Made a little money on the shipping there because these were pretty heavy. But I am now in the do not polish camp because I am convinced these beautiful brass items, silver, whatever it is that needs to be polished, will sell as is. Some people like them that way. Some people want to polish them themselves. So thank you to all the people who said just leave them alone, because now I'm convinced, because it happened, that I don't need to spend my time or energy on polishing items. Just sell them as is. You can always go back if they don't sell after a while and polish them and then see if that makes a difference. But you made a believer out of me. Sell it as is. It doesn't have to be perfect. So crushing that OCD. Thanks to everybody who commented on that post. This was a fun mid-summer sale, and just reinforcing that eBay knows no seasons. All holidays sell all year long. This is a vintage McDonald's Happy Holidays. I said ugly Christmas sweater for the keywords because, yeah, you could wear this to an ugly Christmas sweater party. And it's actually a sweatshirt. And it sold for full price of $24.47. I got it at Goodwill for $3 last fall. So nice profit on that. Horse ribbons are still selling, and I pay all different amounts for these when I buy them, so that dictates what kind of offer I'll take. So like this first one, I took a $25 offer because these batches only cost me about $3. So I did sell, how many does it say? It's 11 batches. So these are steady sellers. And people just keep finding me and saying, hey, I hear you buy horse ribbons. I've got some. So now they're coming to me. So I'm really happy about that. But these are easy and fun to do. And they're from all different parts of the country. And the vintage ones do the best. So I've got them going back to the 1970s. So this is just kind of a fun product line that I stumbled on that it sort of found me. So those are still selling very well. This is a Paula Young wig I got from an estate sale. It was $6 and it sold for full asking price of $29.97. Quick flip and doesn't take up much room, easy to ship. I do have a 30-day return policy on these because sometimes it just doesn't work and they need to be able to try it on and see if they like it. So I think that helps sell more of them. But I've only had one ever returned, and I've been selling these for probably 5 years. So I always look for these at estate sales, and I think this one might have come with the box. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so what I do with these boxes instead of putting it in another box, I can just flatten out the box. You just unfold it and you can ship it flat. That way you can fit it into a padded mailer and you don't have the extra weight of a regular box. Or you can put it in another box, whatever. But I kind of figured out that hack to save both me and the buyer a little bit of money on the shipping. Okay, moving on to some items I purchased and have listed. My big score was some designer clothing at an estate sale. So it was this Ming Wang jacket, very nice condition. So I have that listed for 50 bucks. And then a bunch of St. John stuff. So this is a basic St. John collection navy blue skirt. And navy is not as popular as black. It doesn't sell for as much, so I've got $60 on this. And then here's a black one that I have $90 on that one. One of the reasons I went ahead and purchased this stuff, and I paid $20 a piece for the St. John, and that is high if you're used to getting stuff for a dollar, but I know what this sells for, and these were size 14. I think there might have been 112 in there, so yeah, that was a win. And then here's another St. John jacket. This is more of a cardigan, and it's not as embellished or fancy as some of the other pieces, but still a good practical piece for the wardrobe. So I've got 80 bucks on that. And then here's another basic jacket, a little bit more tailored, businessy, I guess. I've got 129 on that. And there was a St. John evening in this batch that sold right away. So that will be in next month's sales update. Here is another piece. This has the emblem here on the pocket, and it has this beautiful zipper pull, which St. John is known for their attention to detail and like the buttons, the zipper pulls. So I just thought that was beautiful. This is more of a cardigan sweater, but very striking with the gold and black details and that zipper pull, practical cardigan with pockets. Okay, and then this Rothschild coat was $30. I've sold these before, and back in the day when I first started eBay, this was a big bolo. So I've got 150 on this because this coat is just pristine. You could see it has the muff with it. Also has it's new with tags. The lining is impeccable. It's never been worn. So it's got the tags on it. The original price was 140, so I just bumped it up a little bit to allow for offers, or we'll just see where this goes. And it is wool, it's lined, and it is a classic style, just beautiful. So this was $30 and I have it priced at 150. And then here's something interesting I stumbled on. This is called a buttocks basket because it's got the the two sides that kind of flare out in the shape of buttocks. This design here is called God's Eye, and I've got that in my title. But I had no idea that these sold for so much. I got this on an online auction, and they had a whole bunch of them, and the bidding just kept going up higher and higher, and I kept getting outbid. So I did win this one, and I've got it out there for 129, and it's a larger one. It measures about 15 inches across at the widest point. So this is a handicraft. Some of these are antique. I had no way to prove that this was antique because that means it's 100 years old. There's no markings on it. You just have to know what it is. So I just went with vintage primitive because I didn't want any questions or accusations from shoppers that this is not antique because of such and such. So anyway, that was a new thing I learned shopping on online auctions. I'd never seen this or knew that it had a special name. This also came from an online auction. It is a vintage Irish tweed fabric landscape art from Muckish of Donegal County, Ireland. Interesting item. It's not cruel, it's just fabric pieces that are cut and arranged to create a picture. So I've got $80 on this. I also bought a couple of very thick fisherman sweaters. I've got this one priced at $100. It's LL Bean. And then this one is actually an Irish brand called Carrigdon. I've seen this before, but made in Ireland, and these were so heavy. I have $100 on this, so they may not sell until winter, but that's okay. I posted something on my business page the other day, a different LL Bean fisherman sweater that sold in the middle of July, and someone commented, Patty Schneider commented that she's going on an Alaskan cruise or a trip to Alaska, and she's buying sweaters and coats and jackets and all that stuff right now. So eBay knows no seasons. If you have it, list it.
Okay, that wraps up what happened in June. Today's date is July 21st, 2025. So we're almost through July. I'll be back next month to show you my July numbers, what happened as I continue to explore uncharted waters in my own eBay business. And I encourage you to do the same. Please leave me a comment below if you like these videos. I can only guess if you like them. If you do, or if you don't, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and make it a great day on eBay. Bye, everybody.